Welcome back to Morning Express, and it's time for us to discuss your money and ensure that you have more money at the end of the month than more month at the end of your money, which seems to be something that happens, especially today being the 26th, I think. That we have quite a number of people who are possibly wondering when is it going to get to end month. But joining me this morning to have that conversation is Washeke Ndwati. Washeke Ndwati is the founder for Centonomy. Thank you for joining us, Washeke.
Thank you, Michael, for having me.
All right. Now, entrepreneurship is a word that we throw left, right, and center. And many of us imagine an entrepreneur is somebody who possibly has ideas and maybe has actualized them into starting a business. But maybe you can tell us, what exactly is an entrepreneur?
Well, and I guess because we're talking about, and this is a money segment, a lot of people think entrepreneurs, and there's this myth that it's only in business that you can make the money.
Absolutely.
And people are like, the only way to make money is in business, so forget about my salary. So people go into business or try and start businesses. Now, the mistake people make is not holistically understanding what entrepreneurship is about. Entrepreneurship is a combination of processes. I call it a journey rather than a destination.
Okay.
So, for example, I meet many people who are like, I'm an accountant, for example, so I'm going to go and start up an accounting firm.
Right.
Yeah. Now, that's not how entrepreneurs think, because when you're in a job doing accounting, you go to work every day and all you do is accounting. You go account, you even tell the marketing people, the numbers are not adding up, you guys are not making enough sales. But to open an accounting firm, you have to like more than just the accounting, because yes, you may do some accounting, but you have to go and find clients. You'll also be the one delivering documents to your clients. If you have a team, you're managing them. So I guess people just need to understand, with entrepreneurship, it's not just about liking, it's not about being the technician, it's not about liking accounting, it's just understanding to be,
it's a whole new dynamic.
And possibly the one thing you may not do is accounting.
Wow.
Because you have to go,
that I'm sure would be a surprise for many, because I mean, like you're saying, if I'm an accountant, then I imagine all I need to do is open my firm. Instead of doing this for my boss, then I can have companies that I do this for and they pay me.
No, because an entrepreneur is about putting resources together to achieve a goal. So when you're opening the accounting firm, your job is not on how well you do accounting. Your job is to figure out what resources do I need to put together, including maybe hiring other accountants so that I can grow the firm. The firm will never grow by you doing the accounting. The firm will grow by you going and figuring out relationships, looking for the work, figuring out what markets that you should enter, and what is unique about your product and the service.
Does that then mean, using your example of an accountant, if I'm a good accountant and I want to open a firm, I may be a very good accountant, but maybe I need to employ somebody else to help me shape the firm?
So what you need to do is actually evaluate, what am I good at? Am I willing to go out and look for the business, or do I only want to do accounting? And now when you figure that out, those are two separate types of businesses. So there's one where you're now acting like a consultant, where you just go and get the accounting work, but still remember you have to go out and look for the business. So you have to be prepared for that. But there's the other part where someone's saying there's an opportunity for accounting firms. So it's nothing to do with you being an accountant. It's about you recognize there's an opportunity. Maybe you saw that the SME market, for example, is not being serviced very well by accountants, and there's an opportunity in the SME market. That same accountant, Michael, could also take that accounting skill. See, they're good in communicating about numbers, they're analytical to be an accountant. That same skill can also be used in real estate development. So it's not just because you are an accountant at work does not limit your business opportunity to accounting.
Absolutely.
It's really about understanding, what are my skills, what are my strengths. So I'm good at numbers or whatever. Where else can that be used? Because what entrepreneurs do is really identify gaps or identify problems that people are going through and figure out whether they have the aptitude to be the solution. And
just a quick reminder to those of you that are watching, you're welcome to call. The phone line is going to be displayed on your screen as we continue with the conversation with Washeke Ndwati, and today we're talking about entrepreneurs. Washeke, is there a difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman?
Yes.
What is the difference?
So back to since I started with the accounting, let me
last week with Stanley we were talking about cameramen.
So let me speak to accounting. And for all the accountants out there, this is just an example.
Lucky for you, you're using it as an example.
It's really like the difference between being a doctor and running a hospital. The person who runs a hospital does not need to be a doctor. They need to have more of administrative skills and put doctors together. So people who are in business, we call them, and we call it, it's business/self-employed, are employed in a business that they own, meaning that the business cannot work without being there. So back to the accountant, I leave my accounting job and go and set up an accounting practice, but I'm the one doing the accounting for the clients.
So in short, rather than having other people doing it, you're the one who, it needs you to be there physically.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It needs you to be there physically, but I'm not even 10 years down the line, you will still find me, I'm the one doing the accounting.
So in short, the difference between that and being employed by the company is that now you own the company that's paying you.
Yes, you own the company that's paying you, but still, if you are not there, the accounting practice closes. Like there's a lady, I know, one of my clients, and she took maternity leave. She had to close her clothes shop. She's in business. She's self-employed. An entrepreneur, and we all start by being in business, because most of us, from the very word go, you can't afford to go and hire 10 people. But it's about being conscious that my end game is to actually make this business run without me. And if I link that back to the money conversations we've been having on the show, it is one day people will, you get tired, or you want to retire, or you want to simply do something else. So whether it's business or another asset, it's really about, financial freedom is really about what will work when I'm not working. What will still give me money to go to the supermarket and buy bread and milk, even if I'm not the one physically
at the office.
So even entrepreneurs, and sometimes they take false sense of security because I'm in a business, I'm financially independent. No, you're not. Until that business can run without you being there. So one of the mistakes entrepreneurs do is they never set up those structures. In fact, they're almost proud that clients want to come and see only them.
Yes. They feel the sense of importance when they own the business.
Yes, when they own the business.
And of course, you also want to give that personal touch, because it's your business, to the client.
You want to give that personal touch, but that personal touch can be made a process. Observe the way you give personal touch, and also train someone and tell them, when the customer comes, this is how you do it. This is how you greet them. This is how you service them. So you start setting up structures. You don't have to be the one there, because when you're the one who has to be there all the time, your business does not grow. And we teach entrepreneurship, and many people come and tell us, from the time, there's no difference between when the business was 2 years old and the business is 5 years old. We're still on survival, like a rat race, because anytime I'm not there, the business, things slow down. So you find them that even the founder is concentrating not on strategic things like how do we expand, but more on day-to-day servicing, day-to-day clients, collecting day-to-day money, and things like that.
Now, for many, I know one of the things that possibly you do, you start with having a job, and then you develop and possibly have a side hustle, and that side hustle hopefully pulls you out of the job because it's making some money, and you think, okay, I need to grow it, but you've not put systems in place. Is it better to start a business by having systems, or do you develop the systems as you go along?
I think you develop the systems as you go along, and I'll just give my own experience, because Michael, that was me. In a job, started the business as a side hustle, and then eventually moved out. So the first stage, and because a lot of people ask me also, what business should I start? How do I know this is the right time to be in business? And the thing with entrepreneurship, there's no rule. Everyone has a different story. But I started by just looking around me. I was working in the stock brokerage industry, and I noticed that apart from just having the bug that you do want to go and see if you can start a business, that people wanted a more personalized service. So on the side, I started giving clients some services. So it was a side hustle, because I used to do research on the stock market. So it was a side hustle. But it gets to a point when you have to decide. Let's be honest, a side hustle is never going to grow quite as big as a business where someone has put their full attention on. So you've got to decide. For me, some people are okay just having their jobs and a side hustle that makes them extra money. That is a completely different agenda, and that is okay. But some people actually want to start a venture completely. At some point you will get, even with your side hustle, you'll come to the point where you realize, if I just put more time in this, it has the potential to grow. But I am a big proponent, I encourage people, do the experiment. That idea you have, don't overthink it. Try it out. Don't go tomorrow and resign. Try it out and see, did you get one client? Because a lot of people are asking, what business I want to do. For example, I want to sell handbags. but I need capital. I was like, do you have one client who has bought one handbag? No. But all of a sudden I need $1 million shillings to start a business. So start, experiment.
How does one do the experiment? Because you're kind of in a catch-22 in the sense that I have this idea.
Yes.
Again, I'll cling in on what you said, handbags.
Yeah.
And you imagine if I bring one handbag, honestly, what profits will I make?
Yeah.
Like, then again, it might be a fluke. It just might be somebody liked the handbag that I brought and they bought it.
Yes.
So my thinking might be, let me buy 10.
That's fine.
And out of that 10, let me, sample it out. How does the experimenting go? Do you buy 10? Do you buy 20? Do you buy 100? How do you limit what it is that you're experimenting?
I would say buy what can your resources afford you to buy. So don't go and take a loan of $1 million bob, that you cannot repay. If you don't make the sales. So you're right, we have to be willing to risk, and one of the things in entrepreneurship is absolutely no guarantee. That's why I call it the experiment stage. So go out and buy. What can you risk? You're right, maybe one handbag will not show you, maybe you need to do 10, maybe you need to do 100 to go see what do people actually catch on. With that, you'll be able to tell this type of handbag was bought, this was not bought. But you'll also be able to say, however, when I took these ones to Nakuru, they seemed to be bought. You see, you're learning, and this is why people do not invest in startup businesses. Let's call a spade a spade. It is because they understand that people first need to experiment and find exactly what is the product and the service that they want to offer. Once you're like, I've seen these 50 are going like hotcakes, then you have a basis, a foundation to say,
let's now scientific saying the reason why I'm going to buy this other 50 is because the 50 went.
The 50 went. So that is what we call research. So first research and experiment. For some people it's a service. So back to the accountant. Don't resign tomorrow because you have an idea. Everybody, 40 million Kenyans have ideas. So go and see, can I get one accounting client? Because when it's service driven, it's not even about capital. It's can I go and get one SME that's going to sign up to my accounting services, service them, and then you'll start seeing what will it take to grow a firm that is servicing these type of clients. I think we underestimate the power of research. And research is not reading a book or Googling. Research is on the ground, in the field. This is exactly getting onto the bus. That's the research.
Now there is the idea and the notion, going back to the accountant, and the reason why it may fuel for that accountant to think, let me open my firm, is because possibly you've already noticed, again, using the model that you are talking about, your boss for the accountant doesn't necessarily deal with this client directly. It is you they know. It is you they come to. You've already formed a relationship. Now, in terms of ethics, is there anything wrong with me resigning and contacting these same clients and telling them, look, I no longer work for Washeke Associates and Accountants, but now I work for myself. And here I am. So you've already got a clientele.
Well, I look at it this way. Even if I didn't work there, another company that does the same thing can approach the same client with the same offer. So you've got, it has to be some contracts, employee contracts state that you can never actually do that. So you've just got to see what is legal about it. But let's say I was in XYZ bank, and I moved and started ABC bank. Even if I didn't approach that bank, CDE bank could still approach that client. So I don't think there is. However, and this is the reality, and this is something I faced. Most people assume that the client is going to move with them because they have a good relationship, and that's what I thought when I started my stockbroking business. I was like, these clients come to me, I tell them what shares to buy, I make them so much money, they take me out for lunch. Of course they're going to move with me when I start my own.
It's you they have a relationship.
It's me they have a relationship with me. No, they have a relationship with me, yes, but they're also very loyal to the brand of the company I was working for. So if I'm working for XYZ, they know Washeke, yes, but they also know XYZ. Washeke is now going to start Washeke Associates. We don't know Washeke Associates and what's going to happen to Washeke. We understood Washeke when she had also the resources of XYZ. So it's not just about you. So many people I found myself in a position where I thought there would be a mass exodus because you're right, of that personal relationship, I didn't get not even one client. So I think in business you have to be prepared to, yes, you've been working and that experience counts for a lot, but be prepared. The company you're working for has a brand And that's why they have a brand. Yeah, you have to be prepared to also start from the bottom up,
going up.
Yeah,
All right.
Build your brand.
Let's go back to the basics.
Yeah.
Because one of the other questions that comes in a lot is, how do I zero in on what kind of business to start, or becoming an entrepreneur? Maybe I have ideas, and I would like to, sell and make money. How do I zero in on this? Whether to go for shoes, whether to go for fashion, whether handbags.
I think it's a combination of external and internal factors that you have to look at. One, and I'll tell people here, stop looking at what somebody else has done, and because they have done it successfully, it means you can also do it.
Case in point, like quails.
Like quail eggs. Everybody run and they're like, this is quail eggs.
Which is a very Kenyan thing. Once a business is doing well, we all seem to just
People need to start understanding. What a friend of mine made a very interesting comment over the weekend. You can't take a chicken and make it soar like an eagle, because chickens and eagles were made differently. So even people are made very differently. What are your strengths? That's why I say start with yourself. What have you noticed you are good at? Not your qualification. Again, like the accountant, it's not because I am an accountant. It's more because I am good at communication, I am good with people, I am a good networker, I am good with this. And then match that to the opportunity. So you may have very many ideas, but which of those ideas do you feel naturally you can be very good at? Some of those ideas will require you talk to people a lot. Are you a people person? Start that one. Maybe some of those ideas may require you're not talking to people, but you're in the background somewhere. Maybe that's not your natural, that's not your thing. So I'll say start with the one that you feel, what you know, and the resources that you have, and also now look at the resources that you have. You're giving it a good shot at. So it's about matching. It's about matching, and if you're starting, don't start with all 5. Because some people I know have tried, instead of focusing on one and their attention on one, they're trying to do all 5 at the same time.
And then you end up getting mixed up in all that.
But I'll also say, and I always encourage people to start, because Michael, there are very few people who are in business today. I was trying, actually, when I was driving here, I was trying to think about it. Who do I know in business who's doing the exact same thing they started out to do? Amongst my circles, nobody. So that's why the experiment stage, because the other opportunities unfold, but it only unfolds if you have started. I started doing stockbroking for clients. In that, I realized that the gap, apart from going through my personal financial challenges, so experiences also start shaping what you see. I went through my own financial challenges and understood I had not learned about money. But as I talked to other people, I also figured no one knows about money. And that is how Centonomy started. Then we started teaching people about money. And now we don't do stocks anymore. We teach people about money. So the willingness to start is more about getting onto the bus. If you've got to go to Mombasa, you've got to get onto the bus. Then in that journey, things will unfold, but they don't unfold when you're outside.
You have to be in the bus.
You have to be in the bus.
Let's talk about financial intelligence, because I know that is the undoing of many, whether you are employed or you have a business. Because even with a business, you need to have some financial intelligence for that business to grow, to plow it back in. Let's just use an example of the accountant again. And here you are, maybe you've opened, and a firm comes and gives you 300,000 as a first payment, and you think, wow, this is really good. I used to be paid 50,000. Here I have 300,000. But now that in financially, who teaches you that, and how do you ensure that money that has come for the business stays for the business, and that which is your salary is your salary? Meaning you may still not be able to afford that dream car, despite the fact that you are paid $500,000. Luckily nowadays we have Centonomy teaches you that.
But you're very right. You've got to start understanding money differently. And before, you were earning 50,000, you got this 300,000, but you've got to remember it is not a guaranteed 300,000 every month. So we get excited by the lump sum of money, and then the same problem that we face, whether it's salary or whether it's a business checks in. You pass by the phone shop and see they've got a new model out, and you're like, I am now making 300,000, and you want to prove that you're doing well in business.
And again, you even justify and say, if I go to a client and put my phone there,
exactly, and then life comes back to teach you the lesson. You don't get clients for another 3 months. So it's about understanding what are my what money is coming in, but what money is going out. Now, going out, you may be incurring expenses on a monthly basis, but money is not guaranteed on a monthly basis. So that 300,000 is not about you getting excited and buying a phone. It's about saying, let's manage and stretch this out. And you may also have to spend some of it on actually marketing the business. So that's why I always say that your motive of the business cannot primarily be money. It's got to be, there's got to be something else driving you. That accountant has got to be seeing that this problem that SMEs are facing in the accounting has really moved me, and I want to be a solution to the problem more than anything else. But money is important, but it is secondary, because when you see it like that, then you're not in a hurry to amass the money and to consume the money. Money will come, but it will come when your mind and your relationship with money is also correct. So one of the mistakes people do is they don't record you start a business, you're even being paid by M-Pesa, like many people are paid nowadays. You don't record their income. In fact, a lot of people don't know what money they make, they don't know what money they spend. Just like in your personal finances, you've got to know your budget, you've got to know what money comes in and how you're actually spending it. So the principles are the same. Start allocating your business money where this 300,000 that is coming in, where should it go? Let's cater for rent for the next 3 months. Let's cater for this for the other 3 months. Because when you don't keep financial records, please don't expect the bank to give you money. Don't expect investors to invest in your business.
They have nothing to look
for. And even to get some jobs these days, they want your financial
you mentioned something then. I want to hear what maybe dig into it a little bit further. And you've talked about our relationship with money.
Yes.
What should our relationship with money be?
Our relationship with money should not be about, the purpose of money is not all material. For example, people, and in our society today, we see the purpose of money as a phone, a new car, whatever. So your objective for making money, and there's nothing wrong with those things, but your only objective, your biggest dream in the world is to have the best car. That is an extremely small dream. Your purpose, yes, it is. And it's gonna be a lifelong addiction, because you buy a new car
and they keep developing. So you'll always have this feeling of lack, or I'm not good enough because I don't have the latest car. Money is about looking at it from a value system. So what is important to me? For example, you look at people and they start to identify my family life, or I want to experience traveling, or this is the kind of impact I want to have. And yes, your lifestyle can also be part of it, but it's just a part, it's not everything. So money is a tool for the life you want. It is not the life. It is not the life.
And we mistake that quite a bit.
Okay, maybe in concluding, last comment, your rule of thumb for an entrepreneur. What is it that they should know before they leave employment or before they even venture into it?
Okay, fine. We run an entrepreneurship class, the Autonomy Entrepreneur, which actually takes people through this. And I think one of the big things that we emphasize is preparation always meets opportunity. It is not the other way around. Prepare, and then the opportunity comes. So from the very beginning, start thinking about, yes, I'm an accountant, but with one client. What is the next step? Okay, we'll have to wrap it up there because of time, but it looks like it's a subject we could talk about all day, and especially with Washeke, who is the founder for Autonomy. Thank you so very much. I appreciate your presence, and I'm sure it's a conversation we shall keep going since we've not exhausted it, and that's why we'll have to wind up. But let me just quickly read some of your comments. And on our question of the day today, we were asking, was tear gassing the IEBC, Occupy IEBC supporters necessary? And we have Fleming Alex, who says it was necessary. These leaders, they need to grow up. This is what they are doing, is exactly why they are winning elections. It will always be hard. We have Mash Sassy, who says yes, because court know the right way to remove someone from power. It is an elected person, there is an impeachment motion, and for an appointed person there is the law. Antonio Noriega, not at all. The state machinery has turned Kenya back to the old Black Moi days, as well as police state. Last one from Daddy Mutiso. This was not because it was not
their expression. Thank you very much for your comments. Can't read all of them because of time, but thank you so very much. For those of us on KTN News, or rather on KTN Home, this is where we're going to wind up Morning Express and wish you a fantastic day. For those of us on KTN News, our news channel, we have